Good morning. Y'all want to eat? And you still got half a hay net. Yes, you do. Here, bud. Do not paw that. Are you making hay soup, Ruach? What in tarnation happened here? How in the world? So we had one of our coldest nights last night, and it's been cold the last few nights. Like, I've been wearing this same clothes, which are my pajamas, for probably 2 days now, just because it's the warmest thing I have, and I have layers on underneath. But of course, our old generator finally went kaput in the cold weather. So we tried to jump it off initially, and that did work. But then the next day, we could not get it started, whatever we did. And it even, like, you know when you can kind of tell it's the car battery and it'll be like it'll turn over? It wasn't even turning over. So basically we kind of diagnosed it as the starter. And we called a traveling mechanic. They quoted us, and we were like, well, it would just cost us as much to buy a new generator than it would to fix this one. And this one's like over 20 years old. So we decided to buy a new generator. The only thing is, it won't be here. We won't be able to get it until next week. And so we had to get through the night with just our own body warmth. But it's all good. It's kind of fun. So I'm bundled today, and we're just making things happen. I kind of got a busy day ahead of me, so I need to feed the horses first of all, get a fire going so that I can actually get warm and not be cold all day. Then Colin is going to run into town and do a drop-off service for our laundry, because our laundry needs to be done. It's kind of too cold for us to do it. Like, I don't want to put my hands in water right now. So we're just going to drop it off. He's going to go work at McDonald's. Meanwhile, I need to do Ruach's feet. I did Tucker's feet yesterday because they're about due. And so it just takes me a long time because I want to make sure I do it right. And I like go back and check myself. And Ruach is like, you know, he's a baby, so he's a little wiggly, notoriously hard. We take a lot of breaks, so I'm sure it will take me a little bit today. And then hopefully it will warm up and we can go on a ride. Because it's been so cold, I've been giving them 2 hay nets at night. And then they just get their slow feeders during the day. Because we were not expecting to get caught in cold weather, but it just crept up on us. I mean, and the funny thing is, it's only going to be cold for like 2 days, and then it's going to go back up and be warm and be like the high 70s, the low like 40s, so that's not too bad. Whoa, this is wobbly. Hey. Whoa. There's a deer over there. I put the bungee cords on them just so it's a little easier for the horses to eat, like it's not swinging around. Redo your halter because it looks like it's getting tight. Here, leave me alone. I don't need you pestering me when I climb up here. Get. Get. I know you're hungry. help you with this. We've done pretty good with this campground. So this is a National Forest campground, and this is the longest we've been anywhere. We're staying here 9 days, and Colin's parents are coming to visit us here in a few days, and they're bringing a bunch of supplies that we have ordered, like realizing we need and everything. So we'll be restocking, kind of. It's a nice campground because it's close to town, but it's also pretty like quiet. The town's maybe like 10 minutes away. Just a small town in Kentucky. We're in Kentucky. That was an awful scoop. I also need to treat Tucker's feet because I realized he has some kind of like white line going on, white line disease. So right now I just have hydrogen peroxide, but I'm gonna make some type of like apple cider vinegar soak or paste or something. We had a little bit of a baby moment the other day where I was cleaning Rock's area and he was eating, and I just needed him to step over so I could get some poop. So I just touched him with the pitchfork and he kicked. So we've been working on that. And I mean, I know, like, okay, getting in touch with those prongs probably doesn't feel the best, but that doesn't mean you kick out. Because I just went like that, and he kicked me. Well, he didn't kick me, but he was kicking. So we've been working on this. Let's see if he remembers. Come on. Good boy. That's what I've been doing with him. Step, step. Just kind of bumping him a little bit. Now he's focused on his food. Hey. There. I want you to swing that butt away. There, like that. Good boy. One more time. Good boy. Baby moment. Rock's been really good this week. These horses have gotten really good on these high lines. They've kind of mastered them. This is my designated manure pile. You look like you laid down last night. You got some poop stains on your butt. That's how I tell. Tucker's white butt gives him away. Doesn't it? Yes. What? Do you need treats? But the footing is just not the greatest. Can I help you? Can I help you? Because Tucker's kind of in a ditch here, and it has been raining a few days. Like, not all day, but it's been raining, and then I think he pees in the ditch. And so, it's getting pretty nasty. I'm just gonna make the footing better. Yes. What are you huffing about? Huh? No, I wanted to give some of that to Ruach, but he'll be fine. Okay. I just want to be able to see what I'm doing, and the way the dirt is. Come on, pick up that foot. I'm just going to go like this so I can scrub it and kind of see what's going on. Ew. And of course, my pitchfork is nowhere to be seen when I need it. Oh, dang it. Oh my gosh. Here it is. Hold on. Let's make a fire and warm up this dog. Good news is we got some embers going still. Can you lay down? Good girl. If I was on that show alone, the very first thing I would do would be to make hay. Because hay is like a natural fire starter, and I still have some warm logs in here. So I'm going to see if I can just move them and catch this hay on fire. Burn, baby. Wow, was it really that easy? Sorry, Trico. Are you smoked? Oh no! I'll save you. No, she wants to be warm. Trico, just stay. Alright, it is time for breakfast. I'm gonna do a little baby bagel. Do you want me to cook yours on here? I don't mind.
I have an idea.
Okay, well.
Terrible sound.
I know, that was awful. Ah! Well, Colin, yours didn't get... Ah! Ooh, yeah, I may. Yeah, give me that. Getting crispy hot. All right, this thing's burning. Oh, it's okay. It'll be fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My boots are on their last leg. So when Colin's parents come up, they got my new ones. So.
Good?
Yeah. I now can work on my computer. Colin can...
My fingertips will stay warm.
Oh gosh, y'all. I don't necessarily like doing this, but you know, it's easier to do it myself than find a farrier to do it. So, my farrier trained me. Ugh. Outfit check. Alright. My hair. I need to take care of my hair. And I can't find my hair tie. I'm gonna just twist it up. Put it in my hat. Alright. My gloves on. I'm gonna see if I can just do his with him at his hay net. The last time I did his feet, I did them all by myself. I just had him tied. He did great. I always split it into two with him. Like one day I do the front, the other day I do the back. Just because he's young, he's a little bit more wiggly. The front definitely take a lot longer. Like he's a little unbalanced and wiggly with those. And so I'm gonna just start with the front today and see how he does. I've come up with a good saying, I think. It's reactive people make reactive horses. And I came up with that saying based on myself. So, if my horses are being reactive, that means I'm probably being reactive. Yes. Like, I'm gonna just move this dirt so I can see what I'm doing. Would I ever want to be a farrier professionally? No, no, no. Just with my horses, because they're pretty good. And it saves me having to find a farrier on the road, which I think could get really hard and stressful. Both of them are kind of a little thrushy. I think from being more like in stalls. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second, bud. 1 second. 1 second. Boys has feet like hard as rock. Hey, get off me. They actually don't look too bad. I think maybe I can just trim off these points and then I'll use my rasp for the rest. It doesn't wiggle so much. Wrong side. Hold on. Being good, buddy. All right, let's look at his feet and see how it's balanced. It honestly looks pretty good. Maybe that inside heel needs to come down a little bit. I need to look at it without the phone. And now comes the hard part for baby horses. Come on. Let me up. Good boy. Let me not drop that. I know. Don't get that nose out of my face. Good boy. Good boy. Hold on. I can move it closer. Here you go. If you bite me, you are going to be in very big trouble. Do you hear? Do not. Do not. Do not. Come on, buddy. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. You're doing good. You're doing good. Don't bite me. Oh my gosh. So I think I have the energy to do the back. I just need to change because it's starting to get hot and I got Under Armour. I got a lot of layers on, so I have to go put a t-shirt on. I think before I finish Rurock's feet, I'm gonna make myself some lunch. I don't have many options and Colin's gone. So I got my fire going. I got some chicken noodle soup. I'm just gonna go like this so I can easily pick this lid up when I need to and not get burned. You know what? It sounds like we got some boiling going on in there. Oh my gosh, this stick is hot. Yep, all right. Time to put in our soup. This is about done. I actually went and got a ladle. Alrighty, let's test it. I did try the noodles and I made sure they're done. It's really hot. Oh my goodness, it's perfect. I feel so good because once I wasn't doing the feet and I was just sitting around, I got cold again. So this is nice and warm. I want to know if horses can sleep on high lines? Here you go. Bye. Here's me after I have done my personal hygiene throughout the day. You know what? This is day 4 without a shower. And my hair's not looking too bad. Maybe it's because I've been wearing a hat the last 2 days and it's absorbed all the grease. But anyway, clean. It is 4 p.m. and we want to get on the trail before it gets dark. So I'm going to hustle and tack up and then we'll be on our way. Okay, so the trail we're doing today is a little shorter just because it's kind of late already. But these trails are really fun. Just a good variety of hills, rocks, narrow parts. I think some trees came down, like when the hurricane came through this area. We're in Kentucky. And so there's just a few big tree crossings we have where it kind of takes both Colin and I to get the horses over. But it's just good obstacles to work on. And then there's a lot of like narrow parts where we have to practice on our single file, which is good because I've been wanting to work on that. And Ruach does pretty good single file. It's more Tucker just doesn't like him behind him. So that's what we have to work on. We've just gone through the campground and now we are going down this other road to get to the trails. We're in the Daniel Boone National Forest. Right here, boys. There's much like flat space that doesn't have like rocks or limbs to do any trotting or anything, so this is more of a technical trail. But I like these types of trails. I think they're... Hey, none of that. Don't know what that was about. You okay, Tuck? Tucker's been a little weird the last few days. I think because it's been cold. And he's just been like fruity. So, I'm gonna be calm today. The good news is, although I don't want to jinx myself, I've been really trying to hold on to Ruach when stuff like that happens, because for some reason my reflex was just to let go. And so I'd be letting go of Ruach all the time, and I just don't like that. I don't like him thinking he can get away. So, and he hasn't tried to like pull out of my hands since I really started just, yeah, Tucker doesn't want Ruach near him right now, but he's gonna have to deal with it. My rope is tangled. Got a treat for you, buddy. I know, you just need to calm down a little bit. You just need to calm down. Get your head over there. Come on. It's okay. Colin and I have done this trail already, so I kind of know what's coming up. We did it backwards, and it was really fun. But anyway, in my last trail video, I talked a little bit about some biblical principles and faith, and I got a lot of good comments from that. And so I think I'm going to have those conversations more frequently. And, you know, if you believe like that, it's a way that we can just have a discussion. If you don't believe like that, maybe it's a way you can see how I believe and, you know, other aspects of the Christian faith. Because a lot of times, especially from the media, you get one side of it. And the thing is, there's real people living it out. And so, don't bite him. Maybe we can just share that a bit here. So anyway, one topic I think that a lot of you will be interested in, and that I have been researching for quite some time, is the concept of, do pets go to heaven? And so this isn't something I really thought about or cared about really until we had to put our little Yoshi down. So for those of you who don't know, Yoshi was our little miniature pony, and we put him down, hold on, come on, Rue. We put him down in December, like this past December. And it was definitely one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. You know, I haven't had anyone close to me pass. It's weird because working at a church, you deal with death a lot and funerals and, you know, member care and helping people cope with that. So you see that aspect of it, but it kind of, that can kind of make you a little bit numb to it in a way. And so this was like the first personal experience I had, and it was a very emotional experience. And one thing I really struggled with once we had to put Yoshi down was whether he was in heaven or not. And the thing is, I think a lot of people think that about their pets, and they wonder that and they worry that. And so I want to share just some things that I've found from scripture, and also just some I'll say biblical theories I have, so they're not in scripture, but I've just come to the conclusion just through, you know, knowing the character of God and praying and seeking him on it. So I'm going to share those things with you. But before I do that, y'all can see this really dangerous limb right here that's leaning against the tree, and it's fallen down. So this is a big, scary, this scares me because I'm like, if we hit this, it may fall. So I don't know if I should go under it or around it. I don't want Ruach towards it because he will knock it and not care less. What should I do, Colin?
Go around it.
With Ruach right there?
Or I can come and get him.
Alright, let me just... Careful, boys. If that thing falls. Good, very good. Very good. Back up. Yes, you'll get a treat for that. Yes, you'll get a treat. Back to our topic, do pets go to heaven? So there's a few things specifically in the Bible that I want to address. Number one, nowhere does it directly say that pets go to heaven, and that's why some people will argue that they don't. And then there's a verse in Ecclesiastes that basically talks about how there's a spirit from the humans that goes on, but then animals return to the dust. So people interpret that as if animals don't go anywhere when they die. They just die and then they're gone. So those are kind of the arguments against what I'm about to start talking about. You can go and look at those further. But I just want to share my personal perspective. And a lot of my perspective, like I said, I'm going to try and share scripture that proves what I'm saying, but some of it is more so just what I believe God has spoken to me, and then me just also knowing the character of God. So God is love, and not only does he love us, but he also loves the animals, because obviously humans are God's priority. We were made in his image and likeness. Animals are not. So there is that point, like animals are second tier compared to humans when it comes to, you know, just the importance of their life. Like, for example, I know a lot of people will argue about this because people love their animals, but if I had to save my horse or someone I've never met before, I would choose the human just because I know that they are valuable to God and they are made in the image and likeness of God. You know, some people will say, well, I'll save the horse, and, you know, that's up to you. But according to scripture, humans are more valuable in God's eyes than animals. But that said, hold on, Rock is being a little bit of a turd. Here is one of the single file sections. Come in. Let me get down this. Wow, good boys. Good boy, Roo. Hey, don't kick. This trail is pretty narrow through this one section. Let me just get through here. Good boy, Roo. Oh, he's biting Tucker's butt. Okay. So, where were we? Humans are more valuable than animals. That's biblical right there. Man was made in his image and likeness. Okay, so we've established that. But God still loves the animals because we have seen him care and love them. So we see him preserve them during the flood. He wants animals to be preserved. We see him make a covenant with the animals after the flood. The scripture says that, and I'm talking about the great flood with Noah, where the whole earth was flooded, and the animals went on the ark with Noah, and they were saved. So the scripture says that God made a covenant between the animals and Noah, and the rainbow is that promise. So we see that God makes covenants with animals. Now, nowhere else in scripture is any covenant with an animal mentioned. But that's not to say that there aren't other covenants with the animals, you know, that we just don't know about. So that was something I found really interesting when I was looking at the scripture. Tucker wants to kick Ruach so bad. Hey, Ruach, you're gonna get kicked. Okay. And there's also times, like, I don't have my Bible in front of me, and I'm not going to pull out my phone because I'm trying to manage 2 horses. But there are other times in scriptures where you see, like, God worrying about the animals. Jonah went to preach to Nineveh, and it said even all these animals were saved. So the fact that the scripture even mentions, all right, these animals were saved too because of what Jonah did. You know, God cared for them. He didn't want them to perish. And I think the way God views animals is they're innocent. It says, well, I could get on a whole other thing. Let me think about what I want to say before I talk. Animals are innocent in God's eyes, you know, and we are to be their stewards, as mentioned in Genesis. The animals were put in the garden. Adam was told to tend and keep the garden, so he was supposed to take care of the animals. And that was the first mandate from God, given to mankind. You are to steward this earth and steward the animals. And so that's a part of our jobs as pet owners, is to steward our animals. Make sure they have good lives, make sure they're taken care of, and when the time comes, decide to put them down. I personally want to try and ride through this today, but not with Ruach. Stop it. Here, I'm going to throw you his rope. Colin's going to help me here. All right, ready?
No.
We've done this a few times now, and so we've led them through it every single time, but I think I can ride Tucker through this. It's basically a big log, but there is a little way he can get through right here. Colin, watch your legs, there's thorns. Don't get jumped on. It's just, it takes a little bit of maneuvering. And I think I can just do this on Tucker. Good boy. Good boy. Oh yeah. Good, good, good. And the thing is, if you think about the Garden of Eden, you know, that was the ideal place. That was heaven on earth, so to speak. And I find it interesting that we were told to basically govern the animals there, steward the animals there. And so that got me thinking of like, okay, well, if we were to steward the animals here, maybe that's a part of heaven. Like, we steward the animals in heaven too, and we manage them. I mean, it even talks about in the Bible how we are to be rulers when that time comes. And so what are we ruling over in heaven? And that could be a part of it. We rule over the animals, just like we kind of do now. I think they'll be more advanced than they are now, because when Adam and Eve fell, animals fell too. And so another piece of why I think animals go to heaven is the scripture says that all of creation groans for redemption. That's just a paraphrase. That's in Hebrews. I don't know the verse exactly. But if you think about it, if you read, man, we're getting into end times now. If you read the end times, this earth is going to be reborn, and it's going to be made new, and it's going to be made perfect like it originally was. And so the earth is groaning for that. That's why we have hurricanes and tornadoes and tsunamis, and they're getting worse and worse as things go on, because the earth is groaning for it. And the Bible compares it to birth pangs. You know, as we get closer to the end times, those birth pangs are going to quicken, just like when you're a woman giving birth and you have contractions. As it gets closer to the birth, your contractions get more serious. And so the world feels it, like the earth feels it, and then the animals feel it, because it says all of creation. So even animals are groaning and waiting to be redeemed. So if they just died and didn't go anywhere, or if this was the only thing they ever knew, then why would that scripture exist? Why would it say that all of creation is groaning for redemption if they weren't to be redeemed? Because that's, to me, that's not how God works. Like, you know, everything here, this whole earth, the animals, they were put in the Garden of Eden. And it said, be fruitful and multiply. He said that to the humans, but that was also for the animals. The animals were fruitful and they multiplied as well. And so I believe that there is redemption for them. There's also a verse, I believe, in Isaiah. And it talks about the animals in heaven. And it talks about, well, first of all, how the lion will lay down with the lamb. And it talks about how, like, the carnivorous animals don't have a taste for meat anymore. And all the animals just get along and get together. So that, to me, is also part of the redemption aspect, where that scripture is shedding light on the animals once they are redeemed. And that scripture is talking specifically about heaven and this place where, you know, there's no death, there's no pain. The lion doesn't try to eat the lamb anymore. So that's pretty amazing to me. So there's more so the scripture, I think, that backs up the idea that animals and pets do go to heaven. But now I just want to share my personal experience that I've had with this. So when we had to put Yoshi down, you know, and I kind of knew it was coming before it happened, but I wasn't accepting it right away. So, like, I would think about it a month or so before it happened, and I would just cry and be sad, because I would be questioning, like, oh my gosh, what if I do have to put him down? That's going to be so hard. What do I do? Those types of things. And in one instance, I was just talking to God about it and praying about it. And I was just really distraught about putting Yoshi down. And I just feel like God spoke to me in that moment. And the reason I say that is because it was just this thought that popped into my head that I don't have the insight to think. And that's really a lot of times how I know God is speaking to me. Like, I've never had this thought before. I wouldn't have the knowledge or insight to think it. Anyway, I was sitting there crying. I was like, man, I just feel so awful. And I know death isn't a bad thing, you know, if you're going to heaven. But I'm scared that my animal's not going to go there. And I'm just really sad about it. And in that moment, all these squirrels, man. God spoke to me. And I feel like he said, this is exactly how I felt, like the grief that I felt and the sadness that I felt. He goes, this is exactly how I felt when I had to sacrifice that animal to clothe Adam and Eve. And that, to me, really just opened my eyes. Hey, what are you doing? It opened my eyes to how God actually sees the animals, and that he does care for them and he loves them. And if we're to be like God, then the scripture in Proverbs that says a righteous man cares for the needs of his animals, that scripture makes sense. Because if we're to be like God, he wants us to care for the animals because he cares for them and he loves them. And so if you think about it, if you go back to Genesis, after Adam and Eve sinned, God sacrificed an animal. He killed an animal in order to clothe them. And that is the first kind of foreshadowment we have of Jesus and the sacrifice. And then, you know, lambs were sacrificed until Jesus came, and then Jesus was the ultimate sacrifice. And so he had to kill that animal to care for the humans. And that was really hard for him to do because he loved and he cared for that animal. So there's my whole little ramble. Another thing that Colin says that's really good about this, he says that God wouldn't give us busy work. Like, if our original mandate from God is to tend and keep the garden and care for the animals, he's not going to give us busy work to where we don't reap the eternal reward for that. And so if your animal just dies and doesn't go anywhere, there's no eternal reward for that. I mean, I think that God will reward you for your stewardship and how well you manage your animals. There's that piece. But I also think another part of it is, like, you build that connection with that animal, and the reward is that you see that connection through eternity. And so I really like that thing that Colin came up with, because I think that sheds light on another aspect of the character of God. All right, so that's my topic for the day. I hope y'all find that interesting. Comment down below what you think. If you want more of this, if you think, man, this is too much, just let me know. Colin! I don't know which way to go. Colin! Hold on, he said to go to the right. Back up. Move it. Come on, baby. You little boy. Y'all, I need to clean my bridle so bad. It is so dirty and grimy. Look, I don't know if you can tell. All right, this looks like another single file roux. This does not look right. This does not. Hey! You know what? I'm gonna let you kick him because maybe he needs that. Oh! And now he's slowing down. What? Alright, boys, single file here. Hold on, Rue. Oh my gosh. Here is, we're at the end here. It's a nice pond. Here, let's show him. I don't need your help, Rock. Yeah. So this is where we end. I mean, the trail keeps going, but we're just going to end here because it's late. Yes, okay, little boy.
It's just me.
Oh! Wow, that was pretty good. You're fine, buddy. All right, there y'all have it. You have basically seen my whole day. I am now going to clean up some area, find dinner, and then feed the horses. It's going to be another cold night tonight. I think it's going to be 35 degrees. So a little warmer, but still cold. And if you're looking for a way to support us, but you don't really know how, check out our YouTube membership. We call it joiners. So if you hear us referencing that, that's what that is. But basically, I share an extra video each week on that platform. And it's just about every random thing you can think of. A lot to do with this lifestyle. Like this last video I did this week was the top 10 struggles that I have living on the road with horses, and I talk about like the hardest things that I've had to deal with, or just what I've struggled with living like this, because we've been doing this just over a month now. So just shed some light on that. This coming week I'll probably do the top best things, the top 10 best things about living on the road with horses, and just my perspective on that. So if you want to watch that, that will be coming out Monday. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great week.